Hey guys, welcome back. It is week 18 of Life After Prep, about week 35 of reverse dieting for me. Wow, I just need a hot second to decompress. So I just left my house with a screaming pterodactyl child. I think if there's any parents watching or people that have spent time with kids, new rules don't really go over well the first time you implement them. And oh my gosh, I had to leave and I was like, I'm sorry, like our nanny came and helped me out in the afternoon just before I came here, and it's just like, wow, good luck today. So anyway, my ears are still burning and I've got scum knees. I don't even know how that happened. I feel like just, again, a hot mess this week. But anyway, prep is going, or post-life prep, it's going pretty good, generally speaking. I'm literally down to the final days of this luxury lifestyle of eating to my heart's content. So yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking, I think, for anyone that has done a long reverse diet and you're kind of getting to the end and you know you're about to start dieting, particularly if you've been in an aggressive diet before. It's like a love-hate feeling. Like I'm super excited because I know, I'm ready to uncover the work that I've been putting in, but also like the self-discipline that's going to have to come with the next few months is going to be a little bit sad, I guess. So anyway, on that note, I will and should probably announce, because by the time you guys are seeing this, my 12-week Get Lean and Train With Me program will be live. So I guess the way that it's going to work is for the next 12 weeks, you guys get to literally train right alongside me. So I'm going to be doing 4 different training blocks. I've been working really hard at getting these ready for you. They are very lower body focused. There is still an upper body program included. So you can do this exact program with me. It's going to be available on the BioLane Workout Builder. And each 4 weeks, you'll see a slight change and a shift in the training program. So I kind of, there's always going to be a big compound movement at the beginning. I love to kind of get that out of the way, and then I move into accessory work. So still going to be focusing on a little bit of strength-based stuff. So keeping some of the rep ranges for those compound movements kind of under 6. And then there's also plenty of hypertrophy work as well. It's just something that I like to kind of throw in there just to see how I'm actually going. It's kind of a good measure of, wow, this is where I'm at with my diet, because now I can see, my strength is starting to change. So I'm super pumped to have that live. So you guys can actually go and become a member of the BioLane website, and you'll have access to those 12 weeks of my programming. So I'm super excited. Now, if you want to do the nutrition stuff, I'm going to be going through fat loss. You guys are welcome to join me with that. I guess there are some caveats, and I probably will talk more about it, in some of the promotions that I'm doing. So you can head over to my Instagram page to have a look at that. But I don't want to encourage everybody to diet just because I am. I think it's really important to make sure that you are choosing to diet at the right time. If you've just come off a really aggressive diet and you've only had a few weeks, back eating at maintenance or a few weeks back at reverse dieting, it's probably not a good thing to jump right back into a deficit, because you haven't really allowed your metabolism to, fully restore. So, and also it just means that the fat loss phase that you're about to undertake won't be as successful, and it'll be really, really hard. So think about it wisely. If you do want to join me, you still can. Simply sign up to the Carbon Diet Coach. So that's our new coaching app. You can select either fat loss, if that's what you're going to do, maintenance, reverse dieting, or muscle gain. And of course, the program that I have to kind of go alongside this is super appropriate for any of those. I mean, you don't really need to change your training program just because your goal is changing nutritionally. So cutting versus, gaining. You can keep relatively the same kind of structure. I guess if your goal was to lose muscle mass, of course you would change the types of programming that you're doing. But generally speaking, if you want to shred down, lose some body fat, you still want to be doing a lot of resistance training to make sure that you retain the muscle that you've just worked hard to build. So it can be appropriate for everybody. So that's one of the awesome things about this 12 weeks Get Lean and Train With Me program. So go and check that out. You can sign up to the Carbon Diet Coach simply by joining or going to the site, which is joincarbon.com. It's available on Android and iOS. I think that's probably all I need to talk about on that one. So yeah, that is starting next week. Tell me, maybe comment below if you think that you will join. I'm pretty pumped. Moving on to some other housekeeping stuff. So this week as well, we've been working really hard with all of our team to bring you guys a free webinar. So for the last couple of weeks, we've kind of been racking our brains with all the coaches, the Team Biolane coaches, to decide or determine a way to kind of keep you guys, learning, being educated and engaged during this time where, not all of us are able to access gym and, train the way we normally wanted to do. So we thought, why not do a webinar? So this Saturday, which is Saturday the 30th of May, we are going to be doing a series of talks on fat loss. So our entire team, all of our coaches, are going to be discussing a particular topic relating to fat loss. So it will be from the basics, I guess, so the fundamentals, setting up an actual fat loss phase, how to make adjustments, what happens if you plateau during a fat loss phase, how to train, how to overcome obstacles, the psychology behind fat loss, and some of the considerations that you need to take into account when you start dieting. There's a whole host of things, like when to do diet breaks, how to do refeeds, like there's so much stuff. And then of course also, once you get to your goal, what's the most, sustainable approach to exiting that fat loss phase? Because a lot of people don't give that after the diet thought, even any consideration. So that'll be really cool. It starts at 9:30 a.m. Saturday, the 30th of May. If you want to join, all you need to do is go to the links in the description below, guys, and register. All you have to do. It is free. That's, I guess, the stuff that's coming up this week. And now I can talk about what I have done this week. So I haven't checked in yet. So I think last week I showed you guys an example of, the carbon check-in process, but I'd already checked in, so I couldn't check in again. So I just kind of told you about it. So today I'm going to go through that with you and show you, my compliance to my targets, to my calories and macros this week. Give you a little bit of a rundown on that, and then how I go about checking in and what's going to happen for this final week based on the information that I provide the coach. So let's do that. Alrighty guys, so I'm here looking at my Carbon Diet Coach. So I'm on the diary view page today. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just go and check back to see what my average weekly macros were. So that's important because when you go through the check-in stage, one of the questions is, were you compliant to your calories? And were you compliant to your protein, carbs, and fats? So you kind of need to know, ballpark figures where you actually were. So to do that, I'm going to go to me. I've already got the calories section pulled up here. So you can see this week, my average weekly compliance was 2206. There's a really high day on Thursday. So we went out for dinner because everything opened back up this week. And it was very sporadic. I'd already eaten basically all my calories at the end of the day, and Lane surprised me and was like, hey, we're going to dinner. So my calories are really, really high on that day. So consequently, I went into my calorie planner, made some adjustments, kind of took my intakes up to what I consumed, and then consequently you can see here on the diary view how much lower my weekend targets were, and it really felt like I was back dieting again because of that. So anyway, that was me being naughty, but you can see my calories there. We'll go back and have a look at my protein intakes for this last week. So Monday through to Sunday, since that's my 7-day period, 170 grams was my average protein intake. Thanks, Thursday. I can see that really what was it? Oh, there we go. 246 grams of protein on Thursday. That's a little unnecessary, a little excessive, but anyway, it is what it is. You can see here as I tap the days, you can see my individual intake. So thank God they were kind of higher, I guess, and they weren't too low, since protein is very important, I guess, when it comes to building muscle. Now let's have a look at my carbohydrate intake. So I think my target is about 252 at the moment. So I was actually a little shy on my targets for carbohydrates this week. You can see there, 209 was my weekly average, and Thursday is just, wow, 437 grams of carbs on Thursday. I'm impressed with myself. Didn't think I'd do that. Okay, anyway, now let's have a quick look at my fats. And scrolling over, average weekly fat intake 74. Okay, so 209, 74. It looks, but my calories overall were within my required amounts, and that's just because I went so over on my protein, a little bit lower on my carbohydrate, which probably isn't optimal, thinking about what we need carbohydrate for when it comes to training. And the reason that is, I guess, our body's primary fuel is carbohydrate. So by reducing that amount, now I don't have as much available for the training sessions that I do. And because my protein was higher, I guess it potentially could be displacing other important micronutrients, but my calories are already really high at the moment for me, so it's not really that much of a problem because I'm in a gaining phase. Now, on the flip side, if I was dieting right now and I had really exceeded my protein intakes and underate my carbohydrates, I can tell you now, I would feel that in my training sessions because you need carbohydrates to train. So a strategy that I've always used as I get towards the end of a contest prep is have a couple of days where my carbs are really high just so I can get through the workouts. And then on my rest days, I'll pull them back down because I don't really need it. And it's a bit easier too for me to kind of adhere to that carb target when I'm not training and I'm not expending as much energy. I don't kind of feel as hungry. So it's not that bad now that I'm in a surplus. But when I start this diet phase coming up in a few weeks, these compliances would be absolutely atrocious. It wouldn't make sense, particularly as I get to the end of the diet. You want to be nailing those macros. Just from a nutrition standpoint, it's really important to think about ensuring that you get a good variety of all your food groups, especially your grains, breads, cereals, since B vitamins, particularly thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, they are responsible for many of the metabolic processes that take place in order for us to, derive energy, to produce ATP. So yeah, I'd be giving myself a slap on the wrist if I was dieting. But anyway, let's go back to my screen since I'm recording it. Okay, so my intakes for the last 7 days were 2206. So let's go to the coach. We are going to check in. So we'll go to check in. Were you compliant to your macro targets? So the calorie range or the acceptable range is 2162 through to 2273. And I was 2209. So that's good. My protein target range was 146 to 154. I'm outside of that range on the upper end. I was at 170, as you saw. But what's most important is that my calories are accurate overall. And I'm happy to be a little bit higher in protein if I've compensated by decreasing my carbohydrate and fat. But the thing is, it doesn't go the other way around, and that's due to the thermic effect of food. Protein is a much more thermic of the macronutrients. So when it comes down to the breakdown and digestion and metabolizing protein, there is a lot more energy that's invested in that breakdown process. Thus, less is available to us, for fuel and for day-to-day activities. If we ate the same amount of calories, let's say I ate, 100 grams of protein from a meal. It seems really high, but anyway, just using an arbitrary number, 100 grams of protein from one meal and the calories are X. If I matched those calories, right? So if I matched those 400 calories, but with fats, and as you go through that breakdown and metabolizing process, what I would end up with is more energy available from that fat. And that is because of the thermic effect. So unless I expended more energy that particular day, it actually probably means that my energy balance is actually much higher if I chose to eat more fats. So more is available, I guess, for potential storage. I'm not sure if that makes sense. It makes sense in my mind. But anyway, what I'm getting at is it's really important to make sure you hit your calories and protein overall. You don't, if you go over in protein, but you undereat carbohydrates and fats, it's okay, but you can't do it the other way around. So anyway, as I've rambled a lot, let's go back and have a look at this. So 246 to 258 was my carb target. That's the acceptable range. I was under. You guys saw what my carbohydrate target was. So I was definitely under there. Now for fats, I was 74 and I was a little bit outside. But my overall calorie compliance is correct. So I'm going to mark yes. My current weight, 71.4. Body fat, I'm going to guess it's still probably about 19%. And this, actually, no, my weight was heavier this morning, 72.4. Body fat, 19%. And then, are you close to your menstrual cycle? Yes, I got my period this week. So, complete check-in. So, let's see what the coach says. So check-in completed. Let's reevaluate next week. It appears your weight may have been affected by your menstrual cycle, so we don't know your true weight. Please continue to hit your macro targets and we will evaluate your weight once it normalizes. Thank you. So here are your latest macros. So I've got my targets are basically the same. Again, I can go in and adjust those if I wanted to, but again, I'm really happy with that range. I just had a meal out this week that really threw me off, I guess. So normally, on a normal week, these targets would be perfectly fine. So I'm going to hit save. Back to the drawing board. So yeah, here's today's diary view. I haven't tracked anything yet, probably better do that. So yeah, that's my check-in. So I've got the last few days here on these calories, and I think by next week, when I give you guys my update, I will actually go through with you exactly, I guess, how we go about starting that fat loss phase using carbon. And I'll give you a bit of a background too about how we kind of determine your calories, just to give you a little bit more insight. So I think that's probably all I need to really talk to you guys about this week. Short and sweet. Nothing crazy happened. I just guess I'm battling like just pains and niggles as I have every other week. Hip flexor, especially sore this week. Groin area really sore, so I've had to stop my squats last week. I was meant to do another, I guess, block of squatting. And I think just to save myself an injury or making it worse, I just replaced those with some belt squats this week just to kind of taper that back down and not do anything that aggravates that area. So again, that's another reason that might have actually contributed to my weight going up a little bit. Not only did I get my monthly cycle, so it's normal and expected to see my weight increase, just due to the changes in estrogen and progesterone levels, that actually also causes fluid retention. But just due to being a little bit less active in the gym this week, it's also very likely. And I didn't get quite as much time to be out and about. Lane and I spent the entire weekend here in the office getting ready for the webinar, putting together our speeches, putting all of the stuff together. And yeah, I just didn't do a lot of movement. So there's probably many contributing factors this week to seeing my weight go up. But rest assured this week, if I get back on track by probably Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to give it a few days. I'll probably be back to where I was, provided I actually hit my targets. So I'm not too stressed. I'm just ready to get started on this fat loss phase. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you've got any questions about anything we've chatted about with regards to the workout builder, carbon diet coach, my terrible compliance, or some of the stuff that I talked about with regards to the thermic effect of food, hitting calories, hitting protein, all that kind of thing, I'm happy to help your understanding. So always ask questions and I will do my absolute best to get back to you guys. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you liked this video, give it a like. Have a good week, guys, and we'll chat next Thursday.